The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program, and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Good morning and welcome. This is Spindle City Straight Talk. I'm CJ.
I'm Carlos.
And
today we have an empty seat.
Yes, we do, because Chip is away.
I cannot hear you through the speaker.
I'm sorry.
CJ.
You're going to have to kind of feed back and forth with us a little bit here, Carlos. Chip is away. He is on investigative reporting. I did give him this number to the studio. And with that, maybe he can call in if he decides he wants to, but he's in California. So I want to get right to the meat and potatoes of the weekend. Carlos, you seem to have a good time this weekend cleaning up crap.
No, we did. I mean, big kudos goes to all the volunteers out there. There were hundreds all over the city cleaning up on this symbolic day. The day this weekend was a symbolic day compared to all the cleanups that we put through the whole year. But it's one day that at least somebody can come up and join the hundreds of volunteers all over the place that are doing the cleanup, and I think was the perfect weather, and we had a lot of fun, and we picked up a lot of trash.
Well, that's good to
know. That's what we're out there for.
Yeah, well, the city has a lot of trash, and I'll tell you though, when I showed up at the Cash Street parking lot, there wasn't a lot of people there initially, but it seems they were all kind of feeding in little bits and pieces. And I have to give credit to our men in blue. Our Fall River Police Department was all over the city. They were all over the city. You had Officer Sariva, I believe it was, at your cleanup. But the area which I think had the biggest turnout was the Kennedy Park area. They had a huge amount. But I keep saying that's because that's where the food was.
No, and again, we are so lucky on this city, and I say it over and over again. We have an excellent police department, and we have an excellent fire department that is, besides doing the regular work every day, making us safe, every time they have a chance, they are stepping into the plates and volunteer for diverse events that we do. Officer Sariva on my neighborhoods and Sergeant Smith's are great. They come out doing our events, make sure everything is going smooth. If we need any help, they volunteer. So this city, it's so lucky to have the police department that we have, and the fire department, which for the past 3 years they've been sponsoring a cleanup on our neighborhood on Pleasant Street, and we do that the Saturday of the weekend of the Spirito Santo feasts on Alden Street, because the Saturday before the Sunday procession, the Saturday the fire department sponsors a cleanup, and the groups keep coming. And this year we have one more group sponsoring, and it's the Nellie Strong Foundation and all the Nellie's friends. They're coming up and they're helping us on this cleanup. So it's plenty of good news when it comes to city cleanups.
Yeah, well, it seems that the Flint's in the paper a lot too lately. The editorial board of the Herald News decided to make you a focus, huh? A focus on the Flint.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't always agree with Pravda, but this little view from them does kind of speak volumes for the Flint on what the Flint actually is about. And you really want to say that the Flint is was a blue collar neighborhood back in the days when we had the mills and everything, and that was an area where you could walk up and down Pleasant Street, and you wouldn't go 1 block, and there would be a small business, a restaurant, something to do. I mean, and then the great loss to that area was the library, which don't even get me going on that. But it's not like that anymore. You have businesses closing, and you're the neighborhood president for the Flint neighborhood, and is this what Fall River is coming to now? Even our own little, because that used to be called the Flint Village. I remember that, and we had the Flint Village days, and we
still have the Flint Village breakfast.
Yeah, do you really?
So we still have a few, which they're about to retire, the second generation.
Yep.
So I hope they could stay there as long as possible, because they are the only breakfast restaurants on Pleasant Street, believe it or not, at this time. But for years, my key for Pleasant Street to sell the business on Pleasant Street is, here is a mall without ceilings, because you could find anything that you're looking for just in a mile walk. And people's been, and the business been surviving this long because it's a lot of residential area right above the stores, and that kind of helps a little bit the business. But the fact that we don't have parking meters, it's another plus on Pleasant Street. The problem we have been having for a long time is the fact that we have a few bad landlords on Pleasant Street, and they own big properties there. They fall behind in tax, so the business cannot get permits to renew their license, their business license. They have to either move or go out of business. And we've been fighting this problem for administration after administration, and seems like that it's no solution. The mayors bring the owners in, and nothing's been done, and nothing's been moved. So sometimes I have business looking for space, and we don't have a place to give it to them. It's not the right size. It's small. It's too small. It's too big. Because the places that we have good sizes, they need to be updated. They need sprinkler system, they need handicap accessibles, and they need new bathrooms and all of that. And it's like we just go in circles with this problem.
I hear you. Maybe the mayor should focus his streetscapes on Pleasant Street instead of Purchase Place, where he benefits. But that's another story. Let's move on a little bit. Let's get back to our Wrangling Roadshow of reality. The comedy show known as the City Council. And, I spoke about it this weekend in my Weekend Flush, which is getting a lot of popularity lately. And remember, you can get the Weekend Flush by email. We've always said here on this show, if you'll give the politicians enough time to keep running their mouth and letting their jaws flap, they always put their foot in their mouth, or they put somebody else's in. I said in my column this weekend, Mr. Mayor, stay out of the City Council chamber. The more you go down there, the more trouble you get into. That's why Congress and our founding fathers created the Separation of Powers Act, okay? That the executive shall not override the legislative, et cetera, et cetera. There's checks and balances. He turns around and he tells the City Council, if you want to be part of the negotiations, come onto the table. Well, guess what? They want to be part of it now. You don't make an offer if you don't want them there. And again, you're giving away your authority. You're abrogating your responsibility. Okay? You and I both know, Carlos, there are a lot of people out there who think that this is a boy. They don't think he's a man. They think he's a boy. Okay? He acts like a boy when it comes to running this city. This is not the way Fall River needs to be. But again, if he's not handling this appropriately, we're going to have a lot of problems. Now, we look at this and we say, who's got any type of knowledge on this situation? Because obviously, the boy emperor doesn't have a lot of it. And that's scaring me at this point. But I think this comedy show known as the City Council has really got to take a break a little bit, because if they don't, and they don't start showing a little bit of decorum themselves, the city's not going to give them any. But I want to move on a little bit to, again, the misrepresentation of all of it. I got into almost a knockdown, drag-out fight with somebody in regards to the privatization of trash in Fall River. People, you need to understand something. I'm not against privatization. I'm not for privatization. I'm for dollar savings, tax dollar savings, my savings, your savings. That's what I'm for. And here's the problem with this contract. Number one, it's 10 years. Haven't we ever learned that the long-term contracts this city enters into always hurt the city? Again, history repeating itself. My biggest problem is this. This contract only addresses labor. Labor. Understand this. Do yourself a favor. Do the people of Fall River a favor. Please listen. Do not say, oh, well, the DCM people are only out for their jobs. And this one's, no. This is about this contract. And this contract only addresses labor. $3.3 million the first 2 years with a 2.5% CPI increase. In the third year, it's been rumored that it's going to be $4 million plus. Plus, this contract has a lot of blank spaces. When a 6610 request was made to get the information from the mayor, he sent me the PowerPoint that he gave at the press conference. He doesn't have the numbers. Even the city council didn't get the numbers on time or accurately. But everyone said, oh, see, they're all lying. They all got the numbers. No. Understand something. Giving me the numbers 5 minutes before a meeting where I've got to make a decision isn't giving me the numbers. That's putting me against the wall, giving me a blindfold, and putting the gun to my head. And that's if you're nice to give me the blindfold. It doesn't work that way.
Here's my thing. I told the mayor from day one that if it's any savings going private, that I had no problem with going private. But as long as it's savings. Now, that's where the 10-year contract comes on, because that's how he shows, and believe me, this is not final numbers. That's why I don't talk my position yet, if I'm going to agree or disagree with going private. But so far, it's $9 million, but in a period of 10 years. So if we divide that $9 million by year, comes less than $1 million a year. So the number sounds good, 9 million, wow, it's a lot of money. No, it's not a lot of money. It's less than $1 million a year.
That's right.
Okay? So it's like you go buy a car, you can pay it in 5 years $500 a month, or you can pay it in 10 years $200 a month. So here's how the sales people kind of play with numbers to make good. Oh, it's only $200 a month. Yeah, but I'm going to have to pay the car for 10 years.
That's right.
So, and that's the thing. Less than $1 million.
900,000 to be exact.
Exactly. Less than $1 million a year savings. It's not enough to change at this point. I don't think that, because remember, that number is going to change. And that by the end of the year, we're not going to end up saving 900. We're going to end up saving $500,000.
If that.
If that. So that's the problem I have, and that's why I didn't talk my position yet, because I want to have those numbers. Numbers that I can seal it and say, that's how much we're going to save. So if we're going to save that much money, yes, I'm supporting us going private.
But Carlos, here's the thing. They were all screaming about this privatization, and they were screaming about their rights to clap and wave pom-poms, and they missed everything going on last week. They missed it all. Mm-hmm. Okay? The city council is going to approve an up to 40% increase in water and sewer fees. an increase in the quote-unquote illegal rain tax. Okay? It's going up from $35 a quarter. Guess what? That means more money they got to pay. Now, and we're paying this because a guy couldn't do his job. He could not do his job. That's why we're paying it. Because the EPA regulations are too stringent and they're changing too frequently and I can't keep up. If you can't keep up, retire it. Okay, retire. You're too slow.
We pretty much missed the dates of the money that we could get for the project.
Right, and here's the bigger problem. Here's how you spin the numbers. This will equate to $77 a year more in sewer and water fees. Doesn't sound that bad, does it?
No.
Okay, here's the problem. For you, it's not that bad. You got a single family, right? You don't own any other property, do you?
Nope.
Okay.
Thank God.
But now let's say you own a 3-tenement house. It's not $77. It's 77 times 7 plus 77 plus 77. It's 77 times 3. Oh no. Now what about if you got a 6 or a 4? It's not 77 now. So do you see how you spin the numbers?
Again, played with the numbers.
That's right.
Play with the numbers.
You play with the numbers, and as long as you keep playing with the numbers, everyone thinks, it's only a
Was
couple of
just
pennies.
like the $10 fee.
That's
You
right.
know, for a single family, it's not too much money.
No.
When you have a 6 family, so now it's a lot of money.
That's right. When you got a 6 family, it's $720 a year. you
Yes.
know? It adds up
So,
real fast.
yep.
But this is why
Read
we
the
tell
small
people-
print.
That's right. Look at the big picture. Stop kissing the mayor's ass. Put it bluntly, okay? You want to support him, knock yourself out. But look at what he's doing. Look at what the city council is doing. You want to support Linda Pereira and you want to support the Pereira principle, knock yourself out. But guess what? Make sure that what you're being told is the full truth, not the small truth, because I can spin any number at all. Okay? Hey, I got this great deal on this land. It's $300 million to buy, but I can get it to you at the cheap cost of $20 a week. Okay? And guess what? It's only $20 and I get this $300 million. You're going to pay for it for the rest of your life and your kids' life and your grandkids' life, but guess what? You're going to have it. I don't want it because I don't want to pay the taxes on it. Oh, I didn't tell you about that, did I? Oh, and I don't want it because you can't build anything on it because it's hazardous waste. But you want it.
And you know something, and if you're really a supporter of the mayor, and everybody knew that I was a supporter of the mayor, but every time that he does something wrong, I call him out. That's being a friend. Because for me, just to tell him, yes, 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 and then behind him being telling, you know, that he's not doing a good job, I'm not being his friend. I want to be his friend. When I call him out in front of all the neighborhood associations, okay? I call him out when he hired Mike. I told him it was a wrong move, was not done the correct way. I call him out. So, and every time that he does something wrong, I call him out. This is being a friend, not just, you know, kissing every time and saying yes, yes, yes. He's been doing good things, and he's been doing bad things.
Right.
And you are the same way. I know that you sometimes you go rough on him, but you know when he does something good that you tell him that
I always
was a
do.
good position, and that's being a good friend. That's something I want to put on the table, because I mean, I've been supporting a lot of administrations. I was being against a lot of administrations, and let's just go back a few years. Flanagan, I did support Flanagan. I didn't have a sign on my house. I support Cathy and Viveros the first term because I thought that he didn't have enough experience. And guess what? And he did the first mistake hiring the fire chief the way he did it. So having that on his resume, I didn't support him for the second time that we run. But he was in office for 2 months. We got a $5 million bond, a $5 million grant for STAR. I put my name there. My associations gave him the support to go after that money. We did great things. He supported me because he knew that I was doing something for the city of Fall River, not for myself. I was doing something to benefit the city. He was, as a mayor, he was always there to support me, and I never support him. During the two times that he ran. On this time, I support Mayor Correa. But that's besides the point. When he does something wrong, I call him out. And it's been friends. And he likes to hear from me. And matter of fact, we're going for breakfast this week again. And that's what I tell him all the time. Mayor, I don't agree with this. I think you're doing wrong. You know, you need to talk to the right people. You need to listen to some different people, get different opinions, so you can have a good decision or whatever you're going to do. So yes, I not support him all the time, but I think I'm being a good friend to him, just calling him out when he does something wrong.
Well, and that's what we have to do. Every voter, every citizen needs to do that. And you know, we fail to do that because we personalize it.
Yes.
And when we personalize things, guess what? You lose focus. You've got to keep your focus. You know what? I don't care if you're pro-Trump or pro-Clinton or pro-whoever. That's not going to bother me. Okay? What's going to bother me is if you don't focus on what they're doing now. Okay? Before he became mayor, we had his track record as a city councilor. And his track record as a city councilor spoke very clearly. Up until the recall took its, jump and became the new reality, every single thing that Mayor Flanagan proposed, he supported. Supported 100%. He did not fight him on anything. But until after the gun incident.
But you know something, CJ, and let me put this out, because now that the mayor support the carnival at Lafayette, the comments on SAR is that he gave me because he's my friend and because this and that. And you are the proof that we tried everything to get the money to remove these pastors from the school.
Yes. You,
the one that wrote the letters.
Yep.
You wrote the letters to Sam's Club, the Diocese of Fall River, to Show Supermarket. We tried a couple of factories that we cannot get because they're behind in tax. Right. We did everything we could. And the mayor knew that the CPA fell when they didn't give us the money to remove the asbestos. And we only needed $8,000 at the time. We only need $8,000 to open and start that project. And the mayor knew that. And I said it before. On this one, I give him kudos because he came to rescue a project that's going to benefit the whole city, not just my neighborhood. He came to rescue us. So for that being said, that's thinking about the city and thinking about the community. And shame for CPA.
Yeah,
that once again is going to put projects behind community projects, city property projects that need help. That's our money. That's what our money should go again for privates, and even worse to profits companies, and give me my money and everybody's money.
But you know what? The CPA sends the list down. It's the city council that approves it. So when that list gets approved by the city council for the Academica Club, okay?
And you know something?
For projects
city councils, I talked to at least 3 city councils.
Yep.
And what I asked them was, don't ask the board why the DeVos school didn't got money. Ask why the 5 projects got denied. Don't personalize my project. It's 5 projects that got refused. Just ask them, why is those 5 that got approved? That's the only thing you have to ask. Not one question was asked to the board. The board presented, here's my recommendation, and from seat 1 all the way to seat 8 or seat 9, got yes, 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 without one question. Right. Without one question. I just hope that this city council this year I hope they have a different approach, and they make sure they have why those projects got refused.
You know, Chip has been against the CPA. I was against the CPA. And I'll tell you right now, hey, CPA board, I hope you're listening, because Rock Street, that's your fault. That's your fault, okay? Tax money should not be going to any private entity. And by you giving it to me, that means you've been paid off somehow. You have been paid off somehow, okay? Whether it was a favor, whether it was you got a gift, whether something happened, okay? Or some politician came to you and said, this has to happen because this guy's a political contributor. Somehow or another, you got paid off.
CPA works.
Paid off doesn't mean you got bribed. Paid off means you got something from the deal.
CPA, it's sad to say that CPA works good in a lot of communities. They really work good in a lot of communities. Not in Fall River because it's all about politics and who you know. But guess what? You giving my money and taxpayers' money to projects that we don't want to put our money into it. If you buy a historic building and it's private, it's a house or whatever it is, you know it's your responsibility to maintain that property and to fix that property. Don't wait for my money to pay for your property. So that's what I have to say, and I will do anything that I can on my power just to get that out of the taxpayers. It's 1.5%. The tax money that we can get back and give to an organization that we want and help somebody that we want to help.
That's right. You know, we always address Marc Dion's column on Monday, so it is Monday, and we're coming to the end of our show already. And I like the headline, Mark. Yeah, I really got to give you kudos on this one. Are there any rights left anymore? No, we don't have any rights. We don't have the right to clap. We don't have the right to a job. We don't have the right to sneeze. We don't have the right to burn the flag.
Just Toastmasters. Okay. That's what half of the meeting is clapping. So if you want to clap, please join us at the Toastmasters.
There you go. But you know, it's funny that it was this rights argument that came up that actually and this was the best gift that the people of Fall River who were fighting for their right to clap could have given the city council and the mayor, because it diverted everything else. It diverted everything else. Do I think that the right to clap was important? Yes, it is. Okay, the First Amendment right always is important. But again, don't let the minutia drown out the big picture. The big picture is $77 a year, and that's an estimate that's proposed. $77 a year increase in water and sewer fees. Now, if that $77 had been assessed as a sanitation fund fee, you know that they'd be up in arms. But it's water. It's water, okay? You can't lose sight of the minutia. You've got to stay on top of all of it. It's not easy to do sometimes. It's not. And I'm looking at issues now coming up from the Charter Commission, and I'm getting nauseous. I'm getting nauseous. You have 9 members on this Charter Commission. 8 of them, well, I shouldn't say 8, 6 do nothing, and 3 of them are the only people that say anything. 2 are all on one side, and 1 is, you know, the negative opinion or the dissenting opinion. And the other 6 just tout, yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. You know, they shake their head agreeing with the chair and the vice chair.
I just hope they got all of the SIM step, because this is one-time shot. And
no, it's going to get shot down. I'm looking at how they're trying to set this up, and I'm telling you now, you and I both know, if Chip and I come out publicly and say, we will not vote for this charter, we will not vote for this process, you know it's going to die. And
you know, you have a lot of viewers out there and a lot of votes out there. Now I say this, and I have to say, a lady just stopped me at the dollar store and told me, oh, I recognize you from the show. You guys do an excellent job, and when we cannot see the show, we always look on the internet for the show. So to them, thank you for watching our show.
That's right. Thank you very much, and thanks for watching today. Hey, Chip, I hope you watched today.
Yeah.
We'll see you on Wednesday for some more fun and news. Have a great day.